Nashville is frozen. We've just experienced an historic ice storm. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost power, tens of thousands, if not more, trees are down, and it just looks like the world's largest tornado came through, tore everything up, and froze. In the midst of storms and tragedies like these, thoughts and prayers are great, but the world really needs to see Christians get off their couches, get out of the pews, and start serving in practical ways. It's great to do the Bible studies and talk about being salt and light and the hands and feet of Jesus, but our response should be action. And the good news is we all have different gifts and abilities we can use to serve people and serve Jesus in the times of tragedy. But I'm convinced it's less about our gifts and our abilities and more about our availability. I was just able to get out of my driveway for the first time in like 5 days. Trees are down, limbs are down everywhere. I don't know one place where they haven't lost a tree or at least significant parts of their trees. And that's why I'm excited to go do this episode today. A friend of mine, my buddy Jeff, just told me about a ministry called Chainsaws for Jesus. How simple is that? And sometimes in the world of social media and all these stories of Christian leaders, hypocrisy and falling from grace, let's just hear a story of an everyday Christians being salt and light right where God has them.
Our little idea of sharpening chainsaws one at a time is reaching the kingdom in a different way, in a practical way.
Hands and feet, just get out there and do whatever's in front of you.
It's not complicated.
And like the light bulb suddenly came on after 55 years, and it was like, oh, we just go do this.
And politics has a lot of similarities to disasters. You know, right now, Washington, D.C. needs a lot of prayer.
Sharpening and sharing, that's kind of our motto on
Sharpening and
Proverbs
sharing.
27:17. So
I love that.
Sharpens Iron.
So here we are in Franklin, Tennessee. It is, as you can see, it's really crazy. But here's the amazing thing. Jesus shows up everywhere. There we are, chainsaws for Jesus. Come on. Thank you guys. Thanks for the sharpening. They help take care of us today. So we're thankful for chainsaws for Jesus.
So yeah, just tell me the origin story behind Chainsaws for Jesus and where this came about from.
Yeah, so we're a men's group of I think there's 9 of us now.
Okay.
And we meet at our friend John's house, and we've gone through the Old Testament, the New Testament, done the Bible recap, several books, and then it was kind of to the point where, hey, like we meet, but we need to do something. So we had a young man named Daniel McLeod come by and kind of give us a little bit of a pep talk, and was basically like, you know, be radical, let's get out and y'all get out and do something.
Yeah.
So John kind of had a vision and of doing Chainsaws for Jesus and going to natural disasters and sharpening and sharing Jesus. So last year was kind of our first full year of doing this, and we did probably about 500. We went to North Alabama. We went to Selmer, Tennessee. We went to Deer Lodge, Tennessee. We went out and did when the hurricanes came through in North Carolina, we went and did that. And then we went back this fall and did another round of sharpening kind of a year after the storm.
Yeah.
And it's been incredible.
Well, and I love you guys got, like, your mission Bible verse says, iron sharpens iron. This is like, you're actually sharpening iron. But you're telling me, before we recorded here, why it's so important to not have a dull chainsaw, especially in the aftermath of a tragedy. Tell me about just the safety precautions of that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have a dull saw, you're running a risk of kickback. So when you get kickback, the saw can pop back up and hit you.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have a sharp chain.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we go to these natural disasters, people are bringing their saws out of their garage or that they hadn't used for a while, or either they are bringing them to us and they've cut through fence and whatever. So these things are just all beat up.
Oh, sweet.
You pick which one you want. But.
Love this. Yeah. What's up, dude? This is Jeff. He told me about Chainsaws for Jesus. Sorry. You gotta hold that. I gotta interview you real quick. Yeah, just hold it. So, how long you been doing this? Because I don't picture you as like a chainsaw guy, but but you're a Jesus guy.
Yeah. It's really these guys have been a Bible study on Friday mornings, and John and Spence and these guys, John and Spence and these guys just saw literally stumbled on a need. They showed up a couple of years ago when there was post tornadoes, and just started serving. They started seeing a need to actually sharpen the chainsaws because these guys were out there, clearing highways, clearing people's driveways. And he did it one time, and it was just kind of like, that's a real thing. And then these guys, you can see by some of the equipment, they just did some simple things and started showing up in North Carolina, in Alabama. And Lord, I'm telling you, every time they would show up and crazy stuff would happen, like the sheriff somehow would find out who they are and would give them like an escorted drive right to the front lines of everything. And so we're in a Bible study, and this is kind of birthed out of it. But
Which that's the best Bible study, where you take the word and you go do action.
Yeah.
We're not just fill our minds with the scripture, but go do.
So we had this idea from John and Spence and these guys, but then we had a guy named Daniel McLeod who has his own ministry, Jesus Mission, and he came and spoke to our Bible study, and it was like, dude, just hands and feet, just get out there and do whatever's in front of you.
It's not complicated.
And like the light bulb suddenly came on after 55 years, and it was like, oh, we just go do this. But I'm supporting. But there's a couple guys on this team that's really their passion, and they're driving this thing.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for telling me about this, because these are the kind of stories that need to be told more. We know all the bad stuff, the hypocrisy happening in the church and the negative news, but there's these everyday Christians who are just being the hands and feet of Jesus, being salt and light.
Totally. It's awesome.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, dude.
About 3 years ago, there was a tornado down in Amory, Mississippi, and I felt God just kind of lay on my heart that basically I didn't know how to sharpen a chainsaw. But I said, you know what, Lord, you can show me how. So I got in my pickup, I got a file and a pink sign, and I started for Amory, Mississippi, and put a sign out that said free chainsaw sharpening. And people started showing up. Fire people showed up, rescue people showed up, electric pole people showed up, homeowners showed up, and I was filing like crazy and trying to do the best I can. And then these guys got a hold of the idea and they blew it up. And we got Dremels, and we've got...
And you got a whole truck back here, a whole trailer filled with stuff.
And we've got just everything. So it's just a simple idea of how the body of Christ comes together. We're not out there sawing down trees, but we're trying to sharpen the chainsaws for people that need it. Whether you're electric pole guy, electric line guy, whether you're an emergency responder, whether you're a homeowner, we're just trying to help people keep their chainsaws sharpened, but to give us an opportunity to share Jesus. Loving one another, being the body of Christ, being the hands and feet, and that's all we're doing. We're trying to just share Jesus, and this gives us the opportunity to open the door to share the love of Christ.
Yeah, in a very practical way. Well, and I heard that you worked in politics for a while, right? And so just talk about thank you for your service and what you did there, but also the compare and contrast the two of living as a Christian in the political world versus coming out here in the freezing cold and helping people.
I was a congressman from the 2nd Congressional District of Omaha, Nebraska, and so spent time in Washington, D.C. doing that for several years, and then decided that it was time to run for another office, and I lost that race for governor of Nebraska, so I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. We've been here for 25 years. And politics has a lot of similarities to disasters. Right now, Washington, D.C. needs a lot of prayer, and our president needs prayer, and everybody working there trying to do what they feel called to do to move our country forward. But God has a plan, and He has a perfect plan for all of us. And so our little idea of sharpening chainsaws one at a time is reaching the kingdom in a different way, in a practical way, and hopefully someone learns about what it means to be a follower of Jesus, a follower of Yeshua, and to be on fire for Christ. We are all have a gift, and we all have the opportunity to show that gift in a different way. The guys that are part of Chainsaws for Jesus, and we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for people to get involved, we're looking for churches. We want people to say, hey, I want to be the church that's the chapter of Chainsaws for Jesus in Amory, Mississippi, in Florida, in Lakeland, you name it. We're looking to grow, and none of us get paid. That's the way I'd love to see the church operate. Everybody's putting their gifts and their kingdom forward, and nobody's getting paid, and we're just all out there volunteering, doing God's will.
I saw you earlier working on this chainsaw, so you've turned into signing laws into bill and fixing machinery.
Well, I'm a lawyer by education, and I'm in the rental house business, so I do eviction law, and I do chainsaws on the side. And right now, that darn chainsaw is giving me a battle that I'm losing.
You probably go to YouTube a lot to look up how do I fix this.
I did.
Right?
I went to YouTube on how to sharpen a chainsaw.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know how to sharpen a chainsaw.
That's amazing.
But because of the glories of technology, I learned how.
Yeah. Talk to the Christian watching this on YouTube going, all right, I've been reading my Bible, I go to my Bible studies, but I feel like I need to do more. I want to go out and be salt and light.
Right.
But encourage them, because here you're a lawyer, congressman, and now you're just doing the simple act of chainsaw sharpening.
I would point people to when Jesus fed the 5,000. The disciples said, hey, we need some food here. We got all these people that need food. And Jesus turned and he says, you feed them. You feed them. 3 times. The 5,000 miracle was in all 4 Gospels.
Yeah.
And that particular miracle, he says in 3 of the 4 Gospels, he turns to his disciples and says, you feed them. So God asks us to do our share.
This is the first time I've been out on the roads, and there's trees down everywhere. They may be without power. Talk about the ministry opportunities that this is opening.
Yeah, so I mean that's
Good to see you.
Bye, Max.
Thank you.
We love to pray over people, tell people about Jesus they don't know, and then ultimately hope people can see God through what we're doing and through us. So we've never gotten to do this in our backyard. This is the first time. We all live about 3-4 miles from here.
Wow.
We got Tractor Supply reached out. I think we're going down there to the Grassland store later this week, and then ultimately making our way to Oxford, Mississippi this weekend.
Oh, wow.
We all have jobs, so we all work around our work schedules to try to make this happen.
That is so cool. Well, this is such an encouragement for someone who wants to be salt and light. Like, I love how this birthed out of a Bible study. You're like, wait, let's go take some action. And you guys didn't just go to a mission trip. You did something you're skilled at, right? And talk about the importance of serving the Lord through our gifts and abilities.
Yeah, I mean, none of us have. I mean, we all have run a chainsaw, but we didn't have.
Okay, so you're not like a professional chainsawer.
No, we're bankers, we're CPAs, we're lawyers.
Yeah.
But we wanted to get out and do something.
Yeah.
So we all, after 500 chainsaws, maybe we are experts in sharpening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
More than me, I guess I can say.
Right.
More than the average person.
But sharpening and sharing, that's kind of our motto on
Sharpening and
Proverbs
sharing.
27:17. So
I love that.
Iron sharpens iron. So we sharpen each other on Friday mornings, and then a few times a year we get to come out here and sharpen others. So and hopefully they get to go out and sharpen others by doing chainsaws.
Yeah,
So,
that is so cool. People get involved. How can they learn more about what you're doing?
yeah. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, X. We have a website. So I think getting on there and just following us so you can see where we're going. But ultimately, we need volunteers.
Yeah.
So coming out and helping us do this.
Well,
So-
how cool would it be to have chainsaws for Jesus around the country? Because anytime a storm hits and tree limbs are down and trees are down, this is a need. And so
It is. That's our ultimate goal. We can't get to every storm.
Yeah.
But if we could have groups set up that are sporadically spread out, that'd be great. And we've got a whole program of what it costs to equip a trailer. You can also do this model out of a Honda Accord.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much at all. These some Dremels, maybe a small Honda generator to keep you charged because you don't have power at a lot of places. But we could have gotten power where we're at today because they have power. But it's something that anybody can do. It only takes one person.
And that's the best, is that the simple acts go a long way, especially in a time of recovery like this. People, even if they don't need their chainsaw sharpened, they're driving by on this busy road going, that's pretty cool.
That's right. And you hear some amazing survivor stories. Most of the storms that we do are tornadoes.
Yeah.
And you're usually set up right in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's clearly never a plan, but you show up and you work with the local authorities, and most of the time they'll give us an escort in once they kind of see what we do.
Yeah.
We show up with logos, and so we have we look the part, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if somebody comes here with a chainsaw, we greet them, we get their name, we do the sharpening. Sometimes they need help getting it cranked or something small. Sometimes they got a broke chain, so we keep chains. We've got Max, who was here a minute ago. We put a spark plug on his to get it going. But then you come over here, Samaritan's Purse was kind enough to have us come visit them this fall. They gave us some tracts, so this is actually our first time to have these tracts to give out. And then you come in here and you can we either sharpen with the Dremels. You can grab a Dremel. Grab a Dremel. We sharpen with these Dremels. There's 3 different size bits. So you put those on there and just give them a little grind. And then we've got the trailer here where this all anchors in, so for transportation, but we try to keep everything that you need in here, including oil, 2-cycle mix,
all the stuff the normal people don't have at home when they need their chainsaw to work, right?
and hopefully all the stuff that we've learned that we need, you know, when we get out there and like, you know, it's too late. But and most of the time when you go somewhere, you can't go get stuff because it's not there. So
it's sold out, or there's no power and everything's shut down, like it's been here in Nashville recently. That is so cool. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. Any other interesting things you want to share about what?
I don't think so. If people can just help get the word out, you know, I think that's I think that's the main thing, and ultimately we need more volunteers, more feet, because it's only going to work, you know, if we have that and the good Lord bringing that. So
exactly.
We're doing it for Him.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love this. This is beautiful.
Awesome.